Okay, this is going to be the same thing that we were doing before for 37 A, B, and C. All you're going to do here is actually just find the vertical asymptote, which is setting the denominator equal to 0. The horizontal asymptote, which is because the exponents are the same, you just divide the coefficients. The x-intercept will be just to set the numerator equal to 0. So it crosses the x-axis at 1/2, so that is 1/2, 0. And the y-intercept will be just to place 0 in for the x's, which leaves you with -2/3. So it crosses the y-axis at -2/3. So now, as always, you want to make sure that you do the asymptotes first. And make sure that you label your asymptotes. Then you want to plot your intercepts. So 1/2 is in between 0 and 1, so that would be 1/2, 0. And -2/3 is between 0 and -1. So these points are really small, so you might want to try to put it in your calculator and maybe find another point so that you can plot it correctly. Make sure if you're going to put it in your calculator, don't forget to put everything in parentheses in your calculator. So if I make a table of values, and this is for D, I want to look for numbers that are a little bit bigger than 1/2 so that I can have a nice graph. So I'm going to go to 4, 2. And I think that gives me enough to plot a nice graph. Remember, you never want to touch the asymptote. Now I need some values for the other side of -3. So you want to pick numbers that are smaller than -3. And the numbers that are smaller are kind of big. So the only ones you could really use are like -7 and 7.5. And -6 and 8.67. Because there's really not anything else that you could really use. So we'll go to -6. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.6 might be about there. And then -7 and 7.5. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 6. Okay, so we're just going to go up and up. Okay, be careful with these graphs that are off of the main grid. Just make sure that you try to stay somewhat close to your asymptotes. Once again, your domain goes from -infinity to the vertical asymptote, and from the vertical asymptote to infinity. The range goes from -infinity to the horizontal asymptote, and then the horizontal asymptote to infinity.